Good evening, guys. Gary B, the Casual Comic Guy here. How is everyone doing tonight? Let me welcome onto the show my good buddy Rob, Fat Stax of Comics. How you doing, Rob?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm excellent. Below me, we have Nick from Nick's Kix and Comics.
Doing
How are you,
real
Nick?
Can't wait to get to these questions.
Right? I know. I've been thinking them up too. And, of course, the man of the hour, the 2K sub guy himself, DJ Linx. What's going on, DJ?
Nothing much. I don't know why. I'm all of a sudden I'm nervous.
What?
I don't know why. I have no idea why. First and foremost, thank you for having me. I always like hanging out with you guys. Thank you for having me on the hot seat. I threw some water or whatever on my seat just so my ass doesn't burn as much because I heard the seat was really hot. So.
Oh, gotcha. Well, you got that bottle, that case of Evian we sent you over, so you don't go all prima donna on us.
Lord,
Let's see here. Let's say hi to the audience real quick. So real quick, we got Chop and Drop In. How you doing, Chop? We got Austin LeMay. Good evening, Austin. All right, we got Mark. We are Legion. How you doing, Mark? Stephen C. How are you, sir? And Digger Jim. One of my all-time favorite buddies there, Jerry the Jitterbug. How you doing, Jerry?
I need that 181, Jerry.
Southpaw Brad, how are you, sir? So, DJ,
What's up?
You don't have to introduce yourself. Everybody knows who you are. You are a superstar of the circle here. But you just hit 2K, sir. First of all, let us know how that's feeling, and let anyone new that might watch us know why they need to join the Link Squad and get on that 2K bandwagon and start your way to 3.
Thank you. Hitting 2K feels it was super overwhelming. It's funny because I remember when I hit the it was either 1K or 500. I legit started crying. So when Chris the Comic Vet, how he did his subscriber giveaway and he was real emotional. I remember it was one of them, whether it was 500 or 1K. I was doing something here. It was definitely the 500. I was doing something. I was having a real rough day. I was filming a video, and then I had looked over and I saw that I had hit 500, and I got emotional because, like, for me, it's a stamp of validation, and that continued validation through what I'm doing. It gives me the sense that I'm doing something good or that I'm good at something. And I wasn't always told that I was good at something, but now I have a metric to show that I am good, at least at this, as far as subscriber count goes.
It's better than all of us, anyways.
No, that is not true. I am not better than anyone. I use my talent in some areas to my advantage. Like I have a marketing background, I have a video editing background, so I use that to my advantage, and that far outweighs my comic book knowledge. A tramp stamp validation, yes, sir.
Yes.
Taylor actually gave me my tramp stamp at C2E2. There's pictures floating on the web. But yeah, it's hitting that 2K is just another sense of validation and a sense of accomplishment. For me, as far as that, the channel, we do our mystery boxes, comic books, hot toys, all that other good stuff. And I don't know, sometimes I just ramble and say some stuff while I'm watching it back and I'm like editing and I'm like, yo, did I just like really say that? I'm so stupid. So.
Oh, that should be late as always. I had the Don.
What's up?
What's up, Don?
How you doing?
What's up?
So
took a pending ice storm to cancel some ball games, but I am here.
Well, I mean, if anybody can call down the wrath of God, it better be the Don.
That's right.
No, I totally feel you about the when you go back and watch your stuff. Sometimes I go, did I really just start singing there? What was I thinking? Forget it.
Yeah, no, I'll go back and watch something. I was like, what the hell? That doesn't even make any sense.
Yeah, but I like what you said about getting on YouTube, because for me, it's an escape from my regular day to day, my job. I mean, YouTube is my happy place, which is something I never expected YouTube to be. I enjoy making the content that I make, and I have fun with it, and it's one of my ways that I relax. Is it kind of the same for you? Are you relaxing when you're doing YouTube, or is it causing you more stress?
So it's a double-edged sword, right? So what happens is I put the stress on myself because I want to be present a super polished product, right? So that's my goal is to always present a super polished product. As far as it being my happy place, it is. So I do the content that I love. So everything that you see on the channel is because I want to do it. That's why I haven't really stepped out of my comfort zone or took on other things. Like in the beginning, I was just doing the videos, and then one of what I thought was going to be a challenge, which it still is because I still get nervous, was going live and doing my own lives, like on In the Mix. So I remember I was super nervous to do that, but that's part of the evolution of what we do. First, you start out with the videos, and then you move on to the lives. And even to this day, the lives are still kind of daunting. But YouTube is definitely like my happy place. It's my escape. And all the stress that I feel from it is all self-inflicted, so I can't complain.
Yeah, lives are crazy because you plan
Yeah.
everything out, and then somebody comes on and throws up a bunch of Pokemon cards, and your world's upside down.
I would legit. I'm not 100% serious. I watched that entire Slab Hub episode in the parking lot of Home Depot. We went to get something at Home Depot, and I was just like, I cannot drive home. And legit, we watched the entire episode in the parking lot of Home Depot. That was some of the funniest. Like, you just dying in the corner. It was specifically when Tyler had said something about how the Pokemon was sexy, and your face was just like. It was
Oh, looking for the camera. Oh, wait, it was right there in front of me the whole time.
Yeah.
Well, I can personally say, I mean, I had no clue that he had a marketing background. I mean, it
Right?
clue. I mean,
Where do you get off putting your logos on all kinds of things? I mean, that's just ridiculous.
I know. How dare I? No.
Well, let's talk about your branding though, because your hashtag Linx Squad has what I think has been a really successful rollout of your channel and membership. So how did you approach it, and how do you grow that? You know, what was your attack plan to get that rolling? Because you hit the ground running with that, and it seems to have lit up like fire.
Yeah, thank you. So I thought about it a lot with the channel membership, and then again, if we want to go back to talk about stress with the channel membership, there's a lot of stress involved in that aspect, but it's self-induced stress because I want to be the best at what I do, specifically for the channel membership stuff. So the plan going into that was just give people the kitchen sink and just leave it at one price point, $5.99, because once you get into tiers, it's kind of like a slippery slope. And then having to do like multiple giveaways for multiple tiers, like I really didn't want to do that. So I took a model that some people already created, and I just kind of condensed it into all one tier. And for me, the easy part is taking that revenue that I get on a monthly basis and literally just giving it right back. So I'm not trying to make money. My whole thing is legit just giving back. So as the channel grows and the membership grows, you'll see that the prizes are getting bigger and the prizes are getting better. So like, for example, we had the Linx Squad live stream today, and we gave away a Secret Wars 8.5 CGC 8.5, which is not a book to sneeze at. Like it's still a good book.
No, I didn't get to make it. I was busy with the kid. I was like, damn it.
Right, Gary, he didn't win.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
I didn't get that too.
yeah, Stephen C won that. Now
Oh,
as far as
Stephen C.
yeah, like the Linx Squad name, it's funny because I didn't have a name for it, and then one day I was just like, whatever, Linx Squad. Like I had wrote the hashtag, but it wasn't always intended to be like join the Linx Squad. It was always join the channel membership, join the channel. And then I don't know. It was funny because I was like trying to do something with. I love Wu-Tang Clan. That's like my favorite rap group of all time. And I wanted to do something around that. But then one day I was just like, whatever, Linx Squad.
So DJ, like you and I've talked about this before, but like, what do you think makes a successful channel membership? Like, I really struggled with the concept of it. You know, trying to figure out what to do. Like, what do you think? You know, people are looking for in a membership. So
it depends. There's going to be multiple versions of what a successful channel membership is. So, right. So people are going to say, is it the amount of members? Is it whatever the case may be, this, that, and the third? For me, my goal was always I want to keep my members happy. And how do we do that? We have one tier. Whatever I get in revenue, I'm just kicking it right back to the channel. So, you know, I have a great respect for anybody that created their channel membership. One way to look at it is profitability, and if you're getting a profit from it. So that's another way to determine if your channel membership is successful. For me, it's just, the members being happy with what they give me and then what I give back. Like, that's just my definition of success. And that Linx Squad hashtag, I guess, too, that's another stamp of validation. But it's definitely just giving back. Yeah, man, making sure that everybody's happy, everybody's content, and that the memberships. So at its peak, we've hit, I think, 72 members, and it's been steady. So there've been a couple that dropped off, but then they've come back. So that's also an indicator of success, right? So it's not like, all right, let me join this channel, because I've done that before. I was like, yo, let me join this channel, see what's up, and literally nothing happens over there. So then you drop it. So for me, just having that consistency in memberships and people dropping off for whatever reason and then coming back, that's also another indicator of success for me.
Well, I think too, what I noticed is, and it would be that for me once I get to that plateau, but I think engagement to me is the biggest thing with your community. I think that's more of a success than just having flat numbers. The amount of people that come back to actually engage with you.
Yeah, engagement is key. So just like on a video, engaging with your audience, the same thing. You want to engage with your channel members. If you guys have a giveaway, if you ask me to be there, I'm always going to be there. If you guys want me to be on your channel, I'm always going to be there. So I try to always give back like that as well. It's not just giving away prizes, but giving away time too is a big component of what we do. And just collaborating. So for example, like Chris the comic vet, he had asked me something and I felt really bad because he was just like, he was going to do something and he was like, oh, can you do this for me? And then yesterday I recorded a video, but I forgot to hit record. And I did the whole spiel to do a sub push for him. And I completely, I never pressed record. So then I hit him up and I was like, I recorded the video over. I forgot to mention the sub push. I feel really, really bad. So I apologize. But that's another giveaway is your time and being able to get on other people's channel when, they call for you, because it is a big deal to be featured on other channels and things like that. So it's definitely nothing to sneeze at. And I hope everyone takes this as serious as the person asking you to be a part of their channel.
Well, thank you, DJ. That needed to be said.
It's a great answer,
Tyler.
Yeah, I mean, it's the truth, man. I'm not here to bullshit you. This is the truth, man.
At this point, I just love to keep this joke going. It's great.
It's hilarious. It's hilarious.
So I did want to ask you this, because I think this is one of the big parts of your channel, DJ, and obviously it's successful. But what's the next evolution, and what is one of the biggest surprises that you've gotten out of your show, Epic Rap Battles, when you have that on In the Mix? Because I think one thing is surprising the talent that's actually out there that you wouldn't have known otherwise. I just on your last one alone, just you'll get like a 20-minute stanza from actual Dracula, and just all these guys that have all this talent, and that show just seems to have picked up a rock, and all these little talented creatures scurried out from under it, and it's taken on its own. It's taken on its own iconic status. That show really showcases the community members in a great way, and in a different way, which I think is important too. It shows people different aspects of people we watch on a weekly basis.
Yeah. I think for me, it was definitely something that I wanted to do. Being from New York, I've always loved hip hop, rap music, hip hop culture. It's just ingrained in me. And then to be able, I'm a creature. Yes, you are, sir. And then to be able to merge that with comic books, for me, it's the best of both worlds. It's peanut butter and jelly, or peanut butter and chocolate, or peanut butter and what do you like, Rob? A giant slab of ribs?
Oh, I like peanut butter and jelly. I like peanut butter and chocolate. I'm not a hater.
It's like Slab Hub and Pokemon. It just goes together. So for that, I've always wanted to do something like that. And then I honestly feel that for me, it's a win in the sense that I feel that the comic book community and comic book readers at large are creative people. And somebody that's, let's say like Pocan Joe, for example, who's never rapped, I know he is methodical in his approach to everything that he does. So if you put a challenge in front of him, he's going to try to conquer it. So, you know, that was my thinking with everybody, with actual Dracula. Like, everyone is going to bring their best, because at the end of the day, we're all creative people, and I think everybody will be able to pull it off. I mean, I'm just speaking in generalizations. And then yeah, it's just merging that hip hop with the comic book references. It's something different. I've never seen anything like it on YouTube. So for me, it was good, where it's just like carving out my own little niche. So now, like, we have to keep it up. We have to keep going. We took a month off in December because of the holidays and things like that. But I think the end product that we just did last Friday was amazing. Like, you got the best out of everybody. And then as far as evolution, that was one of the steps towards an evolution. Like, we had our first celebrity guest in Javon Jordan, Illuminati. Yeah, who was one of the best cover artists in the game right now. So it was one of those things where he and I kind of developed a relationship before this. At C2E2, we chilled a little bit in Chicago. And then it's funny, before I even like met him in person, I had asked him to come on, and he was just like, hell yeah. And but that's kind of like the next step, incorporate some more celebrity like guests or people like outside of the community. And then we also want to get like other people from just not in our little circle, because we do have a little circle, we have a little clique. And I'm for me, like, one of the downsides of what I do is I get really, really comfortable. So you'll see the same people over and over, because for me, it's hard to reach out to somebody and like, hey, you want to be on? Like, I commend Jimmy and you, Gary, for bringing the guests on here. Like, that's super hard for me to reach out to somebody and be like, hey, you want to be on my show? So that's the evolution, is to get like more people outside of the normal like clique. Too sweet.
Well,
but it's been great. But do you, when you're rapping on there, obviously you got your own good flow stuff, but do you get nervous when you rap on your own show, or do you just go on like, I got this covered?
So what's funny is for this one in particular, so we had 2 months. I was done with my verse like 2 weeks ago. So then I was just practicing it, memorizing it, learning it. I reached out to Steve and I was just like, hey, do you want to kick off the show or do you want to co-main event? And he was like, nah, let's co-main event. So big shout out to Steve Hip Hop to me. Selfishly, I wanted to go on first so I can continue to just host the show instead of worrying about hosting the show and facilitate and doing everything and then have to rap. So then you saw when it was my turn to go on, I fumbled like right out the gate. And then I was just like, all right, let me pick it back. But I was super nervous. I was super confident in that because the stuff I wrote was super complex and dense and double entendres and double meanings. So I was super confident in that, but I was nervous because I had to do the hosting and the facilitating and going through the judges and navigating the technology, which is it could be daunting sometimes, especially when you got a lot of stuff going on.
Is it cool for you to see how people, like the people that have been on there a lot, how they've evolved? Yeah. Like, I mean, Remy Q went nuts the other night. Like, that was insane. I mean, and then he put something on Instagram where he laid a track under it, I guess. And I thought, my goodness, this is unbelievable. But you've watched Drac and even Biggie, you know, when he wrote one night and killed it. Have you been surprised at the evolution, how much better these guys have really gotten?
Yeah, I think that's a great point, Jimmy. And it goes back to the point that I was making about appearing on other people's channels and taking it seriously and respectfully. And they've done that. So, yeah, it never fails. So they've come on, they take it seriously, they do their homework, they know how important it is for me. And it's truly a team effort. Like, we have our epic rap battle chat. So we go back and forth. We plan things. This time we didn't do it, but we usually have like pre-planned meetings or planning meetings. It just speaks to that respect that other people should have when coming on the channel, and nobody phones it in. Like, I'll be honest, like Kyle, he and I went back and forth. Promiscuous Time Traveler. I was worried about him, so I thought he was going to take it as a joke. And I was just like, we're not here to joke. This is not for exposure. There's no gimmicks, so don't be gimmicky. Just take it serious. And he did, and I commend him for it. But yeah, everybody, it's just having that respect for the art form and for the person's time and being on their channel. So
Yeah, and you always have a good crew hanging out, so it's always nice to see how everybody interacts.
Yeah,
So
it's
what's
hilarious
your-
because no, I was gonna say it's hilarious because we're backstage and it's like, yeah, Steve, I'm gonna murder you. So okay. And then we go out and it's like, yeah, blah blah. I chopped off your mother's head or whatever. And then it's just like, yo,
you
good
got your
job.
brown
Good job.
pants on.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's funny that way, but it's definitely a mutual respect all around. And it's something different where it's just there's a camaraderie there because we're all fighting the same battle in a sense, if you know what I mean. So we're all literally doing the same thing. We're all on the same team.
Well, and it's funny too because you're all friends and you all want to have a good time together, but we're also all people that want to win. So when you're even when you're on there with your friends, you want to come out on top at the end. Just like no matter what you do when you go out with your buddies, if you guys start competing at something, you want to beat your buddies. So that's a fun aspect of it too. The respectful riding each other, giving it the back and forth.
Yeah.
Let's take it back to comics a second because over the last year that I've been watching you, I've seen the evolution of you in comics. So you were mostly just like a box guy. Now you've become somewhat of a collector, especially with the last couple books you got, especially from your very gracious wife who got you that Fantastic Four. But how is collecting, now that you had your own channel, got more into comics, how has collecting changed for you in the last year? Because are you more of a big key chaser or have characters in those that are in those keys just become more important to your enjoyment of the hobby?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think for mainly the main thing that's changed was the amount of education that I've received and I've soaked up in doing this YouTube thing. So before that, I like I had some slabs. So I collected comics before YouTube. So back in the day, then I would sell off the collection, get into comics again, sell off the collection. But a couple of years ago, I got some slabs. So before YouTube, I already had like a pretty decent like key slab collection, and like I was happy with that. But then now through mystery boxes and things like that, like it's all about the education. So there's a lot of things like I just didn't know about where I wouldn't like I would never be like, oh, let me go pick that up had I not been in YouTube and watching content and doing content myself. So if there was a good deal on something, right? More than likely, if I didn't know about it, I'm just gonna keep on walking past it. But it's definitely the education piece of that. Now, as far as chasing books, so I have thousands of raw comic books. I have about like right now in the next room, the BCW, the black short boxes. So I have like maybe 15 of those. That's all PC. Stuff for sale because I do have short boxes and I do sell books. So I have 6 books of just stuff that is for sale. And then as far as slabs, because I am a key chaser, I think that's one of and Rob is the guy when you talk about keys and great books on your wall. I think that's something that if we're fortunate enough to get big things like that, it differentiates our collection from just like normal people. Not saying that it's better or anything like that, because that's not what I'm saying. It's just it's a differentiator to know that I could go into this book and it's just like there's history. I mean, this box and there's history in this box. Rob could turn around and look at his wall. There's history.
I took them all down. All I got is his display cases full of toys now.
And that's history. Those toys. Yeah. So I'm definitely a key chaser. I don't know. I like the big books. I like the big books.
I was curious. Now I don't want to go specific into, you know. I just want to know: have you been able to take with all those boxes that you get? And obviously, we see some of the dollar signs on the boxes, some big boxes. You get a lot of them that come in, they come through. Have you been able to successfully balance the expense with what you're able to bring back in from it, so that it's more or less a wash on you, or is it still costing you a decent amount of money in order to create your content that you do?
That is a great question, Rob, and you will appreciate this, sir. I know I give you a lot of shit for your spreadsheets. I spreadsheet everything. So every box, I put it in a spreadsheet. I do all that stuff. I have multiple tabs. I think I have going down like 11 tabs of different things. Thank God I am still in the green, and that's with taking stuff recycling it or just continuing to go through the sales cycle with stuff,
Right.
and even buying stuff. So like I'll make sure I have like $2,000 in profit, and this is aside from getting my money back. This is just in profit before I go out and I'll buy a key, and then I'll take that out of the account or on the spreadsheet and
Right.
just do it like that. So thankfully, I've been able to be in the green and not take a loss on boxes. I think it's funny because not that I want to spend a lot of time on mystery boxes, but what happens is when you do it so often, you're gonna hit big books because you're just taking more chances.
Right.
So
He means he's in the black, Scott.
What's the green? That's what I am not a gambler. I don't know what the hell that means.
No. When you're red and black is on your ledger, accounting ledger. Red is negative and black is positive.
We all knew what you meant.
I don't do my taxes.
You meant green is in dollar bills.
That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the greenbacks, y'all.
Greens,
Cheddar
right.
cheese, chicka chicka cha.
Because it's all about the Benjamins.
It is, sir. What you want to do? Want to be ballers, shot callers, ballers? Yeah, no. So I mean, I'm in the black. Damn you, Scott from Hoarder's Hide.
That's racist, sir.
Yeah, but I categorize.
Yeah, in the green is you're out in Cali.
Yeah. I'm smoking that chiba chiba, y'all. So yeah, I'm definitely in the black. I categorize everything. When I do a box, I put it in an Excel spreadsheet. I have all my boxes that I've ever done, everything I've ever spent. When I sell something though, if it sells for less than $9.99, I don't count it towards my like savings. So anything that's $9.99 and lower, I don't count it.
Nice.
In the black, yes.
You allow it in the black, but not in the back.
Whoa.
What I really want to know,
Oh
and
God.
I've been thinking about this for close to a year now.
I've been thinking.
Really is, why are you the way you are?
Why am I the way I am?
Why do you hurt my feelings so much?
I don't hurt your feelings.
No, in all seriousness, and I've been thinking about this for a while now, and I wanted to ask you live. So you bring up the point where you weren't always a good person. No, I'm trying to be serious now. I mean, is that a correct statement? Like you haven't always done the right thing?
I wasn't a criminal by any
No,
stretch.
I'm not saying if you were, but
I've had my fair share of trials and tribulations throughout life.
And you say you flipped it, it's turned around the complete opposite. I want to know what the tipping point was. Was it you getting older, or was there a certain event in your life that flipped that switch for you?
That's a great question. Let me think about that. I think there's been multiple points in my life that made me want to kind of turn my life around. And when I say I haven't always been a good person, that doesn't mean like I was out there committing crimes or doing things like that. I am from New York. I am jaded. I can have an attitude. I have an anger problem, and that's probably why I connect so much with the Hulk. Like I'll spaz out. So I guess in my early 20s, that was probably like the roughest. Like I'll be honest, I was a complete jerk, and everybody would tell you that. Even still now, like people joke around that I'm a complete jerk. I think when my mom
Taylor
passed,
says that to everybody.
Exactly. My mom passed in 2011, and that had a big effect on my life. And I remember at my mom's burial. So maybe this is giving too much information, right? But I never really had a relationship with my in-laws, right? So with my mother-in-law. So then during my mom, she passed of cancer. So she was really sick, and my mother-in-law was there for her the entire time, up until my mom passed. And then I remember at my mother's burial, and I'm laughing about it, my older brother looks at me and he's just like, and you better be nice to this lady. Like, you see everything that she did, you better be nice to her. And I was just like, shit. So that was like a turning point in my life, where I was just like, all right, I need to think about other people and stuff like that. Another big turning point is if we go into COVID, I kind of, before even getting on YouTube, just like reevaluated some things. I've always been like into fashion. Like people would label me materialistic, right? So you see how much I spend on books and boxes. I would do the same thing with sneakers, with jeans, shirts, all fancy name brands. Yeah. So then, and no, hot toys. That's always been my jam. But COVID like opened my eyes, and it was just like I don't need all this stuff. Like what's more important is happiness. And I was like, you know what will make me happy? Getting back into comic books. So that's when I got into YouTube. I started looking at people open content, Comic Tom, Gem Mint, Wink Inc. And I was just like, let me do this. And I got into the YouTube thing, and it really changed me for the better, especially like meeting you guys and things like that. Whereas in my life, I have my good core friends. Like I have like my group is like 5 or 6 and we're just super, super tight. But it's something that even in that group, I've kind of felt like an outsider because the majority of them, they're all cousins, they're all related. I'm on the outside still, even though we're all super, super close. But coming into YouTube and to the community, we're all like-minded individuals and we all have that commonality. And it was refreshing to discover that. And it gave me a different outlook, like especially when I learned about Aoks and people started sending shit and like Remy, super generous, like all you guys. And it blew me away. And like, even to this day, I'll get an Aok and it's like, I'll open it on camera and all this other stuff. Then I'll sit in the room and like a tear roll down my eye because it's just insane. The generosity in this community. And definitely that was like another big turning point where I was just like, yo, I'm all in. I'm going to try to be the best person that I could be. This community has taught me a lot. And now we're here.
Yeah, it's weird for me. Like I even noticed today in talking to Ignacio that I say I love you to guys I really never even met before. A whole lot more than people I've known since like kindergarten.
Yeah, that's what happens at the Glory Hole place.
Well, that's it.
Well played, Mr. Lakes. Well played.
It's good to see you back at that place too. So thank you.
Yeah, no, I know exactly what you mean. But for me, that's funny because I always, even with my friends and stuff like that, like I've always been of the mindset like you could hang up the phone and something could happen. So like even all my boys and everything, when we out, yo, I love you, dog. Love you, dog. So I always say I love you to everybody. And I mean it. It's not like I'm just saying it to say it, but it's like I
You're just saying it, try to get some.
Yeah, maybe.
No,
Yeah.
I agree. I agree with you about that. The AOK thing is so bizarre to me coming in.
Yeah.
Coming in all this stuff is like just so used to being in like the corporate capitalist world. Is like, well, why would you take something that has value and just give it to somebody? That seems so weird. But it's I've given out several now, and I was like, it's a freaking good hit. Just even like when I watch somebody open up and you see that they enjoy it and everything else, you just go, God damn, this is what people used to be like.
Yes. No, it's definitely true. Like, and I've said it before in the channel and to you guys, I've always been weird about receiving gifts. So there's been instances like on Christmas, for example, it's my wife and my daughter, and they'll open their presents and I'll just sit there because I don't like opening presents in front of people. And like even my mother-in-law or whoever, my sister-in-law, they'll drop off gifts and I like refuse to open it in front of them because I'm not a gracious gift receiver. Like if the shit is whack, I'm gonna be like, oh great, yeah, great. like legit.
But them getting to see you open it, just like that's why I think it's important. Like you said, make sure you open it. But you do it. You bring them on camera and you do it because people enjoy being not only to see your get the chance to see your reaction, but even from a selfish point, a little bit, at least for me. I like seeing somebody acknowledge, hey, look, this guy sent something to me. It was kind of cool. Here, I like hearing my own name said, I guess. I'm a weirdo.
No, definitely, but you're sending stuff that we like, right? Comic books. Like you're not sending me the Yankee Candle.
Right. Yeah.
Well, it was fun too. You have that learning curve too when you start your channel and you're learning what AOKs are and you're learning about the community. And at first you're doing that hunt, all right, what's the AOK? And you're trying to so you type in AOK into YouTube and you're trying to watch all these videos and learn what it is. But Let's get to something else I wanted to ask you.
Oh, Taylor Windows.
So doing what you do, support seems incredible from your wife. And how does that kind of support help you in developing what you do in your channel? And also, as the second part of that question, does your wife collect anything as well?
A woman's a saint.
Yes, she is.
Yeah, no, yeah. I think she's watching. She's away on a business trip, but I think she was headed back now. So shout out to Mrs. Linx. Love you, boo. Support from her, and then we'll get into her collecting thing. Let me just write that down because these two-part questions are killing me. The support is super important. Honestly, I don't think I'll be able to do what I do if I didn't have that support. She's been super supportive in any of my crazy ventures that I've ever came up with, or schemes or whatever that on the legal front that I've always wanted to do. She's a big like legit, like I have a great career, and I've contemplated stepping away from that career to focus on this because this is what makes me happy. And she would be 100% supportive of that. Obviously, I'm not going to do that because I don't want to do that to her, but she's super supportive in what I do, in like what our daughter does. Yeah, I can't, like Nick said, she's a saint. She's legit a saint. Like, she's my best friend. She means everything to me, and I wouldn't be able to do what I do without her support. Now, as far as her collecting stuff, it's funny. I get on her about, like, she's just a workaholic. She has like no hobbies. So I'm like, you need a hobby. You need to collect something. You need to do something. But she is just so odd because she just wants to dance. So it's like,
That's all right.
No, it's just that's how she blows off steam and stuff like that. So we'll be just the two of us, mainly on In the Mix, because I'll start pre-gaming on In the Mix. So I'll have a few drinks. And what happens is, I shut down the laptop. Oh, man, the show is great, blah, blah. We'll go in the living room. We'll just drink, the two of us, close the blinds, put on some music, and we'll, like, dance in the living room, like just the two of us. And
just the two.
Yeah, it's crazy. I'm getting, like, all emotional and shit. You see, you guys are...
That's a great story. That is awesome.
You were in the
Now, what does your daughter think of your channel? Does your daughter watch you?
She does not. But she actually thinks, like, it's super cool. Like, she can't believe the growth of the channel, and I guess the polish of the channel. Like, she knows I did videos, which I don't understand why she wouldn't think that. So when she was in high school, she it's funny if we're going to talk about, like, the raps and videos and video editing. So she had to do a science project. So it's like, what's your science project? She was like, the teacher said we could do whatever we want. I'm like, boom. I wrote an entire song, a rap song for her on about sound waves. So it was called Sound Wave, about how sound waves work. I got my boy who's a video director, like a legit music video director, and we directed a video for her. So when I started doing the YouTube, like, she knew that I was interested in the videos, things like that. She thought it was cool in the beginning. Like, she stopped watching it because it's just not her thing. Like, she's not interested in comic books or stuff like that. She watches YouTube 24/7, but not her dad's channel.
Yeah. Sounds like my kid, man. He watches YouTube. Well, YouTube is our kids' generation's cable. Like, with us, It was all about having cable.
Yeah.
Kids today, well, what's cable?
I thought it was all about having all three networks and not having to get up and rotate the antenna.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, now it's the streaming stuff. It's a good idea for them to take all these streaming services that you pay for and put it in, like, one box, a cable box.
I have one.
Yeah.
Let's get into something fun, DJ. Let's change up the game a little bit.
This wasn't fun.
So, little DJ growing up. What
Little
were
DJ,
your
that's the name
favorite
of my
TV shows? Your TV show influences, the shows that you liked watching where you grew up. We all had our shows. So what was yours?
Oh, sorry. I just pictured little DJ showing up to school with, like, a lunchbox, popping it open, sitting on the desk, two turntables inside there, and just starts going to town.
Still full beard little DJ.
And Franklin asking where his money's at.
little baggy jeans over his Timberlands.
That's why I am the way I am. TV shows. So what happens is I have so So there was a bunch of us, and we grew up, a 2-bedroom apartment. It's 5 kids, and then both of my parents. So basically, we watched whatever my older brother wanted to watch. He had full control of the TV. Couldn't tell him otherwise. So some of my favorite shows growing up, and for a kid my age, I probably shouldn't have been watching, but obviously The Incredible Hulk. So that was my jam. Like we would all watch that. The Incredible Hulk, The A-Team, TJ Hooker, which is hilarious. Freaking 6-year-old watching TJ Hooker.
Well, everyone needs to see William Shatner slide over the hood of a car, right?
And Heather Locklear, right? Heather Locklear.
Mhm.
TJ Hooker. Three's Company. So Three's Company was the jam. I shouldn't have been watching that at that age.
You didn't understand half of it.
Strokes. They made me understand. So if I didn't get something, they'll be like, "Yo, he means this," and this is like this. That's why he's calling him. That's why Mr. Roper's going. So they made me. Shout out to Mr. Roper, a great character, man. Doesn't get enough props. So it was basically what they wanted to watch. I guess when I branched off on my own, that's why it's weird because I've always been into. There's movies that I didn't see that came out in the 80s that I had to see as an adult because I was always into like violent stuff because of my older brothers. So for like Star Wars, I didn't see Star Wars until the 20th anniversary when it was re-released in like 97. I didn't see Goonies until like my wife moved in with me. She was like, "Oh, you never seen this?" Because it was just stuff that I literally, it was like if it wasn't rated R, I didn't want to watch it.
Wow.
But then
Princess Bride?
I've never seen The Princess Bride.
What?
Oh
One of the
my
best
goodness.
movies ever made.
Yeah, you need to.
One of the most quotable movies ever
Mhm.
made.
Yeah.
Anyway, carry on, sir.
Does it have blood and boobies? Then I don't want to see it. No, I'm just kidding. So like that, and then I guess like cartoons and stuff. When I came into, I guess in middle high school, Batman the Animated Series on channel 5, Batman the Animated Series, where I had to sit through the last like 4 minutes of Power Rangers before it started. I always hated Power Rangers.
I'm right there with you.
Yeah, I was just like, what the hell is this? Even back as a kid, I'm like, this thing is like terrible. Teenage
want to be Voltron.
Yeah, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, Inconceivable. I thought you were Inconceivable, Drac, but apparently you're alive.
That's a reference to The Princess Bride. It's one of the most famous lines from it. Inconceivable.
Apparently not too famous because I don't know.
Right. If DJ doesn't know it, it's not famous. You heard it here first.
What else? Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Legit, that was my thing.
You didn't watch the whole cartoon?
Yeah, I did watch the whole cartoon. It was on Channel 9, and it's funny with the whole cartoon. The first episode, there were people dying in the whole cartoon episode. There were like helicopters crashing into the side of the mountain, which is mind-boggling. But Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the Rambo cartoon, because obviously I watched the Rambo movie, so the next step would be the Rambo cartoon. Cops. COPS. I don't know if you guys remember that cartoon.
Yep. It was like the anagram cost. It was like C period. Yeah.
Which was awesome and super, super violent. So, like, I don't think, and I'm gonna get killed right now. I don't think I've ever seen a full episode of Transformers. I don't think I've seen a full episode of He-Man. Like it just even back then, I thought that was childish.
That's
He was
why
gonna come
you
for
are
you.
the way you are.
Yeah.
That was what you ran home from school for in the afternoon was to watch Transformers, G.I. Joe, and He-Man.
Oh yeah, G.I. Joe.
Not He-Man. Masters of the Universe, let's be real.
No,
And
so
Thundercats.
so what happened was I was real even as a little DJ, I was into music. So instead of watching
You watch the
those
old TV
cartoons, I
raps.
would watch Video Music Box.
Oh.
Yeah, I would watch that religiously. So, and that was because of my brother, because my brother wanted to watch it. So I didn't even have the opportunity to watch like He-Man or Transformers because it came on at the same time as Video Music Box, and I had to watch Video Music Box, and that's why I'm so into music.
Channel 31, right?
Channel 31, son. Yeah, and then Bobby Simmons on Channel 25. Fluffy Video.
Now I just want a little DJ cartoon to watch.
Right, little oversized hat.
Yeah. You hear that, little DJ? No,
All right, so we got your TV shows. What about this question? I always like because I'm always interested because we all have different tastes. What is your all-time favorite storyline in comics? The one that you can read over and over again, where it's just your jam.
Hands down, Infinity Gauntlet. Hands down, Infinity Gauntlet. That's what like got me into comics. I was always fascinated like that. Obviously, Thanos is one of my favorite characters. The Hulk is one of my favorite characters, and Punisher is one of my favorite characters. I was always fascinated by the villain, and for one guy in that book to take on the entire universe and almost come out on top, and then even at the end of it to walk away, and he was like on his homeworld and stuff. I was always fascinated by that. I'm always fascinated by the bad guy winning and like rooting for the villain. See, I don't see them as villains. I see them as like underdogs, and he's like misunderstood. So, if you take it to the movie Infinity War, he legit had a point.
He did. He did.
Well, the best
Poorly
villains have
conceived solution.
yeah, the best villains have stuff that you can see their point with. They're not just paper cutouts. You know, they have some gravitas to them.
Yeah, but the
That's why everybody likes Jimmy.
Yeah. Ma Jimmy. But yeah, definitely a 1,000,000% Infinity Gauntlet. Like by far. It was new. It was my first like big crossover event. Like everybody was talking about it. The covers were dope with everybody on. It was that and then Infinity War, which was a little like with the doppelgangers and all that stuff, but the covers were still awesome. Yeah, but I could sit down and read Infinity Gauntlet tonight and still like get goosebumps and be happy about it.
Now, what did you think of his interpretation in the MCU from Thanos from comics to live action?
I loved it. I think he's probably the. What happens is you can't do direct copy. It has to be transposed to the screen. I think he is probably the best representation of a comic book character from Marvel on the screen. So you got menacing, you got regal because he's just not a bad guy. He has purpose and gravitas. He's methodical. He has a backstory. Like he's not a bad guy in his mind, which makes him compelling. I loved it. His voice. I'm glad they didn't go with like I am Thanos, something like that. It was like Josh Brolin lent so much gravitas to just his voice, even his movements. Like when he moves with a purpose, he's not running, he's not doing anything. Like he's legit. Every single time Thanos is on screen in those movies, he's menacing and he's just a boss.
And the way he beat down that Hulk made him just like a little nobody.
Yeah. Oh my God, little DJ, stand down.
That is here.
Yo,
it was great.
In the theater,
You're so conflicted, weren't you?
It's funny because I took off from work tomorrow. Now I know what I'm gonna do. I'm supposed to catch up on reading. I literally took off because I was like, I need to catch up on reading. I'm gonna watch Infinity War and Endgame again back to back. But when they introduced him and they just told you this guy is nothing to F with. He just beat the shit out the Hulk, and that was that. Like,
you're like, oh,
yeah, I was like, holy shit.
Well, yeah, and you think about it too. The Hulk beat the crap out of a god, and then this guy beat the crap out of a guy that beat the crap out of a god.
Yeah, yeah. Puny god.
All right, now you have got out to a lot of cons and stuff. What is your favorite con? I can probably guess your favorite con experience from meeting everybody.
But no, that was the worst.
What's your favorite con to go to that is just is it your hometown New York con?
Easily C2E2 was a completely different beast. That was the first time, I flew out to a con, and it was my first 3-day con. Like I've been to hundreds of cons. I've been to New York Comic Con every year. I want to say since like 2007 when it was like in the small room in the Javits downstairs when it just smelled like armpits. Yeah, but C2E2 was like a completely different thing just because it was 3 days and I got to space it out a little bit. So it was like one day is like, met up with everybody, got the exclusives, walked the floor. Day 2, maybe do some other stuff, schmoozing, go back. And then day 3 is when you try to buy something because, people don't want to, I think we're talking about who's the most underrated villain in your opinion. So definitely C2E2. And then I've been to New York Comic Con. I miss the days though of, like the shows in like church basements, like in the city. Like Big Apple Con is a big one here now. It's like in a hotel, and before it used to be like uptown on 115th Street in a church basement. And I would love that. It smelled really, really bad, by the way. But that, to me, that's what a con was. And then like seeing how it became so popular and entrenched in pop culture, because it's not about comic books anymore, it's about pop culture.
Right, Hall H. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's kind of weird like that. So it's always good to go to a smaller thing. Like now here in New York, like every other month, I think they do. It's called Queen's Comic Party, where this group will put on a comic show in a bar. So it's in a bar, and then in the outside space, it's freezing.
That's
But
smart.
they'll set up in the bar, like all the booths
Each
would have
customer's drunk, and then show off some books that I overpriced. That's great.
Yeah. So I'll go to I'll drive there. And so my wife doesn't come with me to those because it's like super just in and out. Like I'll go in, I'll do a lap, buy something, and then leave. But that's like smaller stuff like that is super refreshing as well, because for the big con, you might have like a few hype beasts there. Like they're just there because it's like, oh, it's a con and it's pop culture and boom, social media. Let me take a picture. But when you go to the smaller shows, you know, everybody's there for the same thing, similar to what we do in the community.
Yeah, no, I agree 100%. If you're only interested or primarily only interested in the comics, the big cons are nothing for it. I mean, we had it so bad here, and one of the big cons out in San Jose. I mean, it's this last year all the comic book vendors abandoned it and all showed up at a hotel that they in a hotel ballroom that they booked intentionally on the same day as the giant multi-day con, because they're like, oh, hey, nobody, if comic people aren't going to be there, but they booked today, know what it is. It was very successful.
Yeah, no, definitely. And then I feel like you get better deals too at smaller shows, because at the big show, you're gonna get some people like
booth space costs more. Other things.
Absolutely. Getting like a nice size booth on a con show floor is a lot more expensive than a table in a bar.
Couple tables, or in a bar, or a couple tables in a ballroom in a hotel. Yeah.
So did you want to take Marty's question here, DJ? He wants to know, since we're talking villains, who's the most underrated villain in your opinion?
That is a good question, Marty. Link Squad North. Big shout out to Marty from Canada.
Mountie Squad.
I don't know. I'm drawing a blank on that.
Pick a writer then who ruined your book.
I love my villains. Yeah, like I'm sorry, Marty. I can't answer that. I don't know why. I'm just drawing a blank.
So, as a Hulk fan too, what do you think of the new run now? The new book, especially after coming off such an iconic run as that last horror run was, and now it's Space Hulk.
Yeah, Starship Hulk. Immortal Hulk. That 50-issue run will probably go down as one of my favorite runs in all of comics. Like, I think that 50-issue run is perfection. There are a couple of flaws or missteps around like the mid-20s, but everything in
it's not perfection then.
For me, it's perfection. Like, there's classic albums that have like a song that's like, it's the same thing. But
it had to be a B-side. Got it.
Yeah, no, I loved everything about that. So I think Donny Cates going into this Hulk, like the deck was already stacked against him. On top of that, I wasn't a fan of his Venom work. I wasn't a fan of the early crossover stuff. So already I had like a bad taste in my mouth when it came to just the name Donny Cates. So of course this thing could go to shit. I'm still gonna buy it. First issue, I was intrigued by the concept. So I was like, all right, I'm on board. Second issue was terrible. But then third issue, I was just like, oh wow, okay. So it's like a roller coaster. But it's just, I think it's just his writing style, where he just tries to do too much, and it's just too avant-garde and like out there, and not in a good way. But I'm a character guy first and foremost, so I don't really like follow writers. I don't follow artists. I'm always gonna read the Hulk, no matter who's on it.
What does avant-garde mean?
So, being a big music guy, I got to know, what's your guilty pleasure song? The one you sing to yourself when you're by yourself that you don't want people to know you're singing.
Hey, Macarena.
Nah, not that.
And he's doing the dance.
No, you know what's funny? Like, I like a lot of whack shit, a lot of like one-hit wonder stuff, a lot of 80s. I really groove on the 80s. So I don't really consider them guilty pleasures because I'll sing it like in front of you. Like I like what I've been rocking lately that is just like my wife looks at me and is just like, what the hell? Joni Mitchell, Big Yellow Taxi. Like I don't know why I'm like listening to that over and over. That Jolene, Dolly Parton, I love that.
Actually, as much as I love that song, I actually think that Miley does a better job of it.
Nah, F that hoe.
I didn't say I liked her. I'm just saying I like her version of it a little bit better.
Yeah, like that. I'll listen to like some weird shit. I remember when Game of Thrones. Did you guys see the last season of Game of Thrones?
Yeah.
Nope.
So what it was, I think it was issue 3, right before the big war, or the issue. Wow, episode 2. I think it was the end of episode 2 where somebody started singing a song. And then Florence, like Florence and the Machine, it was their song. So it was like, high in the halls where the kids all have gone, Jenny would play with her ghosts. I was rocking that shit nonstop for
Florence
weeks.
and the Machine are really good.
Yeah. I have like a really eclectic palette. I'll do that. I'll listen to, and my wife hates this, I'll listen to like druid chanting and like they're called motets, which is like I think it's like 2 people harmonizing, like it's like old like church music from like the 1600s. Yeah, I'll listen to that like and rock out to it, like I don't know why. And then I'll listen to Disturbed right after, or Godsmacked. I don't know. I'm weird like that.
Yeah,
but you don't. You'll criticize me on Soundgarden.
Wow, I'm just playing with you, man.
Hey, if you want to listen to some good stuff, you listen to the Westworld soundtrack.
Yes, the Westworld soundtrack is phenomenal.
So you gotta go listen to some
old classic. Let's ask you that though. What's your favorite soundtrack of all time, DJ?
Even I.
Let me see. Yeah, Purple Rain by far. Like that's not even. I will fight anybody that says otherwise. No, I'm just kidding. I think, but yeah, Purple Rain. For me, it's one of the best, just hands down, albums of all time.
Not the Disorderlies.
No, definitely not the Disorderlies.
Hey, but the Fat Boys, man,
and DC Cab, and DC Cab was lit too. Yeah, no,
but CDs out there no one's even heard of, like Crystal Ball, and he had the first Black album out, not Jay-Z. I have Prince's Black CD right upstairs.
Yeah. No, I definitely Purple Rain. And that's, to me, that's one of my favorite albums of all time. I remember when I first started my job, like this job back in the day, I had my CD player and my Walkman, and I was listening to it. And they were like, yo, what do you listen to? I'm like, mind your business. I went to go do something and somebody opened it. They was like, yo, you're not supposed to be listening. You listen to Prince in your house. You're not supposed to be listening to it. And I was like, yo, you bugging. This is the shit right here. Like I love Prince. I think Prince is one of the, he's just a musical genius in all aspects, as far as like writing music. Yeah, writing music, producing music, playing every single instrument on a track, which is unheard of. And up until he died, I didn't know that he did a lot. Like he wrote and arranged like Sheila E., Morris Day and the Time.
Yep, Sheena Easton.
Yeah, just a bunch of stuff. And then they released the reference tracks when he had passed, which was like insane to me.
And he wrote a lot of songs for other people to use.
Mm-hmm.
Like Sinead O'Connor hit. That was him. He was
a baller.
Well, sometimes you write a song and it's not right for you and your sound, but
you want some
Manic Monday for the Bengals, their biggest hit.
Just another Manic Monday, yes. I was dreaming. Oh no, wrong song. Oops.
Wrong pitch, frequency, wrong key.
And exactly what Jay Hobby says. DJ, did you ever see? If you haven't, you got to look it up on YouTube, because Prince was probably one of the best guitarists to ever live.
And then he threw the guitar.
Oh no! Did you see when he rocked out with Tom Petty and all the other guitarists when they were just all jamming for a while? The whole time, just pure joy on the dude's face.
Yeah, I'll look that up, because I know there was one where he went on stage and he was jamming with a bunch of people, and then he just took the guitar and like threw it in the air and like walked off, and he was gone, and the guitar fell like 10 minutes later. I don't know. It was like heavenly.
See, I think there was always a scene that was sort of like that. That was like in the an unfortunate movie, the Blues Brothers 2000 or whatever it was, where there's a performance down in Louisiana, and it's got Eric Clapton, and it's got just like all these Joe Walsh, just stupid, crazy guitarists and stuff all up there playing some rock blues, just amazing.
Blame it on the train, but the boss is already there. Just another manic Monday.
And see, plus I started listening to him with the Controversy album back in the day, but I'm old, so.
Yeah, no, and going back to when you were talking about guilty pleasure songs, one of my favorite songs of all time is "Nasty Girl" by Vanity Six, and he wrote and produced it. That's legit, like that's my jam. And I had the early records that I had when I was little, my dad gave to me, or I stole from him. I had Purple Rain, not Purple Rain, I'm sorry. The When Doves Cry, not the 45, the 33, When Doves Cry, Madonna, Borderline and Lucky Star, and then Vanity Six, Nasty Girl. And then I would just listen to those over and over and over.
For those of you at home who are under the age of 30, when DJ references 33 and 45, he's talking about the speed at which albums would play, rotate, how many revolutions per minute. Both were good sounding, but nowhere near as good as the 72.
78, wasn't it? Southpaw Brad has it right. That's what I was talking about. While my guitar gently weeps. That's you look that up. It's incredible.
Thank you, Rob, for explaining the RPMs, man. That's like that was actually like legit knowledge, bro.
So let's bring it back to your YouTube channel a minute. So when you started out the YouTube channel, first, who were your influences? Now I know you've talked about starting it on Jimmy's channel, but who were your actual influences when you got going? Did you want to emulate anyone as well as do your own thing, or was it just I want to do my own thing?
No, so yeah, definitely before, like, it's funny because it goes back to the marketing thing that I said before. You definitely want to look at other people and see what they're doing, and it's not about seeing what they're doing and copying it. It's about maybe brushing up, and it all goes back to education, like seeing certain techniques. If you're gonna do mystery boxes, let me see Wink Inc. to see what boxes he gets, so that I know I have at least 4 in the chamber before I launch my channel. So at least I have 4 videos, 1 a week. Definitely Wink Inc. was, I think, the main influence, which is hilarious to me, and we're like super tight now, which is hilarious to me. Like we talk like Jimmy too, like we talk on the phone, not even through like Instagram thing like that, which is hilarious. He was definitely an influence. Gem Mint as well. I think Gem Mint, a lot of people, because he does the statues and things like that, but he's from a similar background in Florida. Like a lot of people don't. Gem Mint is hood as F. Like he's had not a light upbringing, and it was good to see somebody from like the same walk of life that I have, even though I'm older than him. But it's good. That's refreshing. And he and we spoke about that backstage, where it's just like, you know, we're from similar walks of life, and not all of us were raised in a certain way or were privileged or things like that. So it's always a breath of fresh air to see somebody like where we came from be able to talk about hot toys or comic books or statues like he does. Them two, they were the main ones, I think, from a personality perspective, and he did a great job of it. And I'm not just saying this because he passed on and it's a cool thing to say, but Comic Jabroni, I was really into his channel before he passed, and I didn't know he passed. So when I learned of his passing, like I didn't speak to him or anything like that. I was actually like hurt by it, and it was early on in my YouTube career. So it was like 3 months in, and I was like, damn, because I loved his wrestling stuff and bringing the wrestling promos to comic books. And then when I learned of his passing, I was like, holy shit, this is crazy. But yeah, Wink, Gem Mint, and Jabroni.
Nice.
Hi, Nick.
I got one more question I wanted to ask you that pertains to just the YouTube community in general. So your channel, it's erupted like a volcano, right? And but have you ever seen any stagnancy, and how did you deal with it? Because I know, like, I'll get like a bunch of subs in a row, I get really excited, then it'll sit there for a week or two, then I'll get another tiny bump, or I'll get a couple back and then back up again.
Can I answer this one? Can I answer this one?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie right now. I'm not gonna lie, but he knows that he's got something people been waiting for. You know what I mean? Because he's been waiting for it. Okay, go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
The clap?
No, he's talking about in the first Wu-Tang Clan album, the interview skit at the end of side A on the tape.
I'm sorry. My unfortunate my hip hop knowledge ends in 1992.
Nice. Wu-Tang, yeah, it came out in 93. As far as stagnancy, I'll be completely honest. I don't really pay attention to the subs like that. I think you wind up going crazy if you do. A lot of the times if I hit a milestone or something like that, it's because somebody's saying, hey, congrats, or something like that. Or if I know I'm getting close to something, like when I do check it. So like getting close to the 2000 thing, like I would check it. Just to see, so just that I know, because then we have to plan this thing, and I want to do the right marketing campaign for it. But
it's true.
Yeah, as far as I try, you could go crazy like checking that. Like you legit can go crazy if you constantly check on the subs.
Nice. Well, and a lot of people say that, and that's something I think we all fall into the trap of when we first start too. You start checking all the time, and then you got to learn to let that go so you can actually start enjoying yourself again. But I think that's like a phase everybody goes through.
Yeah, definitely in the beginning, I would check it all the time, because for me, it was just incredible that it's like, oh my God, like 2 people watch this and 4 people are subscribed to me, and it's just little on me. Like for me, that was incredible. But you also have to, like, you kind of have to be disciplined and draw the line in a sense. So it depends on what you want to do YouTube for. Like legit for me, this is like having fun, interacting with the community, interacting with the Linx squad, interacting with you guys, my friends. So this is the main driver of the channel, and like obviously opening and showing off cool stuff. So I think like identifying like what you want to do. Now if your goal is to monetize and do things like that, yeah, you want to keep track of that, because you want to know, all right, I'm gonna hit 1,000 subs now, then more than likely I'm trending to hit my 4,000 watch hours in 2 months from now. So that's something you want to pay attention to. But I think the main thing is you just have to identify like what's the purpose of your channel. Like strictly for me, it's just to chill, show you my stuff, and hang out and Linx squad stuff.
To be YouTube famous, y'all, and make that ducats.
Make those greenbacks to stay in the green. Yeah, no, but it's definitely with that stuff, the subscriber checking it could drive you crazy. But this is more important overall, and from a whole YouTube perspective, just identifying what you want your channel to be and just run with that, identifying like your strengths and playing to your strengths, and just not to say that there's weaknesses, because even I have weaknesses, but just make sure you rely on your strengths so that the weaknesses are kind of covered up in a sense.
I know that Jimmy will agree with me on this one. The most important thing about having a YouTube channel is being a source of embarrassment to your kids when their friends accidentally find you.
100%.
Who did they actually find you, Jimmy, or Rob? Because I know Jimmy, your daughter's friends know.
No, yeah, my daughter's friends know. Like I actually have some super fans and my daughter's friends. What embarrasses them now is when I show up at a party and her friends come and talk to me, she's like, "Oh my God." That's the thing now, and I get great enjoyment out of that.
Or when they sit there and go like, "How the hell do you have so many followers?"
Oh no, my kids don't watch the channel either.
Oh,
I mean, don't get it twisted. My wife doesn't either. It's just they know I have it.
Mine don't watch it either, but they do know. Like on the IG side, they're like, they're sitting at an adorable little 200 followers type thing,
Yeah, my daughter's friends, they like when they found out and saw the channel, they were like really, really surprised. Like they know I'm into filmmaking, stuff like that. One of my daughter's best friends, her name also happens to be Destiny. She's an aspiring filmmaker. So it's like,
and their children?
No, they're in their oh no, my daughter's 23.
That was a joke. Yeah.
Oh, okay, my bad.
Both Destiny's children. Sorry, it wasn't a good one, obviously. So, anyways, into filmmaking. Also, name is Destiny.
Say my name. Say my name.
You were answering a question before I got you off railroad tracks.
No. I think
That was it.
yeah, I think that was
Cool
it.
story, bro.
Yeah, cool story.
So, before we start this wrap up here, DJ, why don't
Wrap
you let
up. I'm
everyone-
having fun, man.
Oh, hey, we can keep
These
going.
books
But
are like the most warped boards I've ever seen in my life.
Listen, Gary, an hour 10. Let's wrap it up, B.
Wow.
What's coming up
in my
on your
life?
channel?
Huh?
You got your 2K show coming up, and what else have you got coming up?
As far as like big stuff, nothing really. I mean, doing the mystery box stuff. It's funny because a lot of the mystery box content that you're seeing, aside from what was Rob's box was the most recent, it's stuff that I had already or that I've unboxed and filmed. I actually have like 2 boxes that I've yet to unbox from Eddie, Old Man Collectibles, that I just haven't gotten to yet. And then I have a bunch of like Hot Toys reviews I have to do. It's just like in one, like there's so many things came out. So I have videos for days that I have planned. So I'll probably film some stuff tomorrow just to keep it in the chamber.
All right, well, let's go to the suspects here. Jimmy, what have you got coming up, sir?
Just the normal stuff. Mystery box Monday. I think I'm going to open the Jimmy Jams box this coming week. First appearances, key issues, new comic book day on a budget, and then Average Will be your guest on Team Questions next week.
Nice.
And then if you haven't watched today, you haven't watched Erod, I had an absolute hoot with that cat. He's a really cool guy, really informative too when it comes to the whole, grading and pressing stuff. So that's the normal stuff, what I usually do.
Rob, sir?
Oh shit, this is the wrap up.
Yeah.
We're doing the
Oh, so I thought you was just asking me.
No, it's wrap up time, brother. We got these kids turn into pumpkins if we leave them out too late.
Yeah, I'll fall asleep in the next 10
Yeah,
minutes.
me, Nick, and Jimmy all got to get up at 4:30 in the morning.
It's easy for Rob to say. It's not even 8 o'clock yet by him.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, but I get up at 5 in the morning to actually get up, not the other 3 or 4 times I get up in the middle of the night. Old man. Saturday, Slab Hub with Remy Q, baby.
Nice.
And then Monday will be Mail Call, which is not going to be loaded with a ton of mystery and space. I thought we'd give it a break for at least a week and go through some other stuff, some Whatnot pickups, some Spider-Man, some this and that. And there'll be some CGC or some more CGC stuff is on its way back to me, as well as a shipment of CBCS slabs. So we'll have some slab opening sometime next week.
Nick, what you got, buddy?
I too have some slab openings as well. But right now everything is shut down here in Texas, so that'll have to wait till next week, Monday or Tuesday. Whatnot sale tomorrow, I believe, 1:30 Eastern. Come out and see what you can get for cheap. 60 cents on a dollar, so to speak. And next Thursday, Ignacio D'Amelio and I will have our sloppy second episode of Two Nerd Dads.
Nice.
Sloppy second episode.
All right, guys. So coming up on my channel, we of course got Savage Saturday coming up, and next Tuesday is the debut of a brand new show that I'm starting called the 10-1-1. You guys can find out more about it by tuning in. My first guest is going to be Metarog, but it's going to be a fun show where the guests, I want to get them super involved. They're going to bring 10 of their favorite books in their collection, regardless of value, and they're going to talk about them. Then they're going to show us a book, an 11th book, that has a story behind it, a personal story connected with that book, and then they're going to do one spec pick. So that's going to be a new show coming up. Metarog's going to be the first guest. I'm going to be reaching out in the community, see who else wants to come on and talk books, things that are personal to them. Just another way to get to know our community a little bit better. I really like getting to know everybody. DJ, I'll be asking you onto that show as well. So pick 10 books out, sir, and get ready. But that's it. I'm excited to start the new show. Another live show. I find I'm really liking doing the lives. I'm really liking conversing with everybody. But DJ, like we always do, we're going to send it over to you for a last goodbye to the audience. And I just wanted to say thank you so much for coming on the show. It was just truly a great honor to have you on. And literally, I looked up, and until Nick said it's been an hour and 10 minutes, I didn't realize how fast the time went, dude. It's been great talking with you.
No, likewise. I had a lot of fun. That's why when you like try to wrap it up, I was like, no, I want to keep going.
There's always repeat visits, DJ.
Yeah, no, I'm happy to be here. Just before we break out, I just wanted to, I guess, impart some, some wisdom or knowledge to people, and then about the YouTube thing, and then I'll sign off. No, I just want to tell people, like, people that are doing this, like, you have to figure out what works for you and just follow that, play to your strengths. If you're just doing things that you see other people doing that are working well for them, it might not work for you. Just the sooner that you're able to identify what your strengths are, the better off you'll be, and make the content that you want to make. You don't want to be like doing things that you don't want to do just because you think it's going to get views. Like views aren't everything. Like the Hot Toys videos that I do, they're probably the least viewed on the channel, and I enjoy making those. Like, to me, those are like little movies when I film it. Just definitely like find your strengths and play to that, and just do you. People are going to come to your channel for you. I think the content is secondary. They come for the person and the personality. And then I guess let me see. I memorized my my ending, and that's gonna do it for me, ladies and gentlemen. As always, subscribe, like, hit that notification bell, share this video, tell your friends about me, and as always, most importantly, spread love because it's the Brooklyn way. Peace.
All right, and as we always do, we are gonna sing ourselves out. Awkward ending.